Hi, Joel.
Hello.
Hello. We're just waiting for people to join.
Yeah, hi Desiree. I didn't see who I was talking to there. I finally get it. My computer skills aren't perfect, so but good to see you. Oh,
No, always good to see you too.
Savannah's here, and Andrew, good. The professionals. I love our professionals, I got to tell you. I do.
I agree. They're fantastic. You're all fantastic.
Well, but they're especially good. All right. Oh, only our fearless leader, huh? Okay, good. Gonna get my tea. I'll be right there.
Hi, guys. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Okay.
Hi.
Yep.
Good. Do we have our presenters here?
I'm here.
Hello, Bill.
Hi, Terry. How are you?
Good. Good.
It's been a while.
I know.
I'm actually doing projects outside of historic districts these days.
You are.
Branching out.
All righty. So, Desiree, are we good to get going, you think?
Let's see. Yes. Jason, do we have the presenter for the first case here?
Yes, we do. We're here for his architecture.
Okay, wonderful.
Okay, there we go.
Then I think we're good to go.
All right. Thanks. And we're, I think, recording, correct? Yeah, I see it now.
Yes.
Okay. Well, good afternoon, everyone. This is the Tucson-Pima County Historical Commission Plans Review Subcommittee meeting of Thursday, October 23rd, 2025, called to order at 1:01 p.m. And I'll go ahead and do roll call. Terry Majewski is here. Savannah McDonald.
Here.
Joel Ireland.
Here.
Andrew Christopher.
Here.
Great, thank you. We're all here. Item 2 is review and approval of the 10/9/25 legal action report / meeting minutes. Could I have a motion to approve as submitted, please?
So moved.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second.
Thanks, Joel. Is there any discussion? If not, I'll call roll. Terry says aye. Andrew?
Aye.
Joel?
I
Savannah?
Aye.
Thank you. It passes 4-0 unanimously. So that's good to go. Item 3 is summary of public comments. Desiree, did we receive any by the deadline?
I saw no public comments. Jason, did you have any?
I have not received any public comments and none were received in the inbox.
Great, thank you very much. Okay, item 4 is historic preservation zone review cases. We review these under UDC section 5.8/TSM 9-02.0/historic district design guidelines and revised Secretary of the Interior standards and guidelines. Case 4A is SD 0625-00098/TC-COM-0925-01658. This is at 121 East Broadway Boulevard. And save a little time, Jason, do you want to go ahead and introduce the proposed project?
Yes, thank you, Chair. So this is at 121 East Broadway Boulevard. It will be a storefront restoration. Their scope of work is going to be exterior shell in addition with 2 grade planter boxes on the sidewalk, public right of way. Part of the improvements will be replacing the existing non-historic awning with an awning that will fit in and be compatible with the storefront. The other improvements will be replacing the non-energy efficient windows with energy efficient windows. They will be removing a metal screen in the existing alley garage door, and those will be replaced with a new window and door system. These window and door systems will be composed with metal, and the applicant says that it'll match the rhythm and color of the adjacent building. And with that, I'll turn that over to the presenter.
Hi, everybody. I'm going to share my screen right now. Oops. Oh, I think you might have to allow me to share my screen, guys.
While you're doing that, Jason, just to remind everyone, if you're a presenter, please put your name and your affiliation in the chat, please. That would be helpful.
Can you do that, Jacob? I don't know how to, I'm not sure I know how to do that.
Yeah, you should have the chat function somewhere on your screen.
I still do have the, my screen sharing is still disabled from your guys' end. No.
Jason, did you start the meeting or was it Desiree?
Sorry, here. Let's see.
I think you need to give Richard Bright, Desiree, and the
Okay,
other
I'm
presenters.
making him co-host.
Try it again. Okay, looks like it's working now. Thank you. All right. So it looks like everybody can see my screen now. Just to start off, general location map, and I'm going to zoom in here a little bit. So this is our project here, 6th Avenue and Broadway. Just for a little bit of reference, this is the AC Marriott Hotel. Across the street is a VFW building, the old Johnny Gibson's Market back here, the new TP building down there. We're going to jump to the next slide, which is the development zone map, and here we are again, and we are a contributing structure. This is the historic inventory report. I'm going to zoom in a little bit on it right now. You know, obviously, this building is probably a lot older than this photograph depicts. We feel this photo is probably from like 2010. But this is what we did reference this photograph because it was a historic inventory report. We did a little bit. We think this building was originally an automobile dealership. We tried to think about that when we were doing our approach to the remodel. You can see so this is the south facade. So we're looking north and kind of west. You can see that adjacent to us, to the west, we have a building. And we also have one to the north. So we really only have 2 sides that we're addressing in this historical view. Moving on, this is we took some photographs to give you guys a little bit of reference. So looking at this first photograph, number 1, this is the side of our building, very similar to the historic inventory report photograph. You can see these existing openings have kind of been boarded up a little bit over here. Kind of jump back, looking at photograph 2, which is looking directly to the north. And this is how it more currently looks. It's been boarded up a little bit from that last use, as it's been vacant for a little while. The last sort of photograph that we thought was really important. So we're sitting here looking, photograph 3, looking towards the adjacent building. And we put this in here because, you know, we did like, sorry guys, we did like the way that this building represents, and we wanted to capture some of this feel, a lot of this feel into our proposed modification. So as we get into the presentation and a little further, you'll start to see some of that. We wanted to put this in here for reference. The remaining photos, A, B, and C, looking down the street for reference. So here we are, looking to the east, the AC Marriott Hotel, looking down Broadway, looking to the south, the VFW building, and looking to the west, kind of down the road here again is that adjacent building, probably the tap room, and then also the TP's building down here. Pan out a little bit. So our floor plan, as you mentioned, you know, we will ultimately we will be putting a TI into the interior, but this is for the shell building, and this kind of indicates this is basically the bones of what the shell building actually looks like right now. And you can see all of these. You know, we have our facade, and it pops in a little bit here, and then here are all the openings, all the existing openings. You see all the dimensions on here, and you see all the eaves. This is all existing. We're not proposing any new openings or filling any openings in. We're just planning on you know, redoing them for the look that we want, and also you know, to modernize it, and also the energy efficiency as it was mentioned. This is a little, I'm just going to kind of take you through just a little slideshow that kind of shows you our approach to this thing, so you can understand what it was and where we're going with it. So this is a Google Street View of the closest photo we could find from the historic inventory photo. And it's also relevant because it depicts the last use. You know, this has been abandoned for a little while now, but it was this shot in the dark cafe that we're using again to kind of as the basis. And then we kind of broke this down. We thought sorry guys, a little bit of background noise. Hold on a second. Thank you, Jacob. So what we did here in this kind of a teal area, we call this existing new alteration. We thought this was the most important part of the whole thing. All of this existing brick and these 2 columns, and we thought there needed to be no disturbance to this area. So we're leaving all of that alone. The next area that we kind of looked at was, we call this existing non-historic. We felt this awning was pretty obviously not original to the building. We thought it would be okay to remove it. We would like to remove it and replace it with something, another awning that we thought was more compatible with our design and with the street front. This next area, we call this existing historic with modification, and then, you know, you can't see it from this view, so we kind of highlighted in orange. There's a clear story of windows in the back that we would like to replace. These, all the glass in here is single pane glass, and we really need to get this building, well, actually for the tenant improvement, in order to pass our model energy code, we thought we put insulation on the roof, and we're going to have to replace all these windows. Plus, we want to do it anyways, you know, for heating and cooling. So we're kind of showing this as areas that we're keeping this exact same layout. We're just replacing the windows and the frames. And moving on to this last area, you know, we're calling this existing with historic ambiguity because you know, it didn't really feel like this was necessarily historically significant. So like if you see in here, this is T111 siding with this kind of, you know, raised popped out windows, and then this door, which is asymmetric to the entry, and then this kind of steel and this screen. We thought that, you know, again, thinking back to this thing as a 1930s car dealership, this area seemed like area that we could modify and make work with our design and what we thought would look better and be better. And we thought that these were areas that were not of historical significance, that we thought we could touch those areas. Zoom out a little bit. This is our construction drawing from our submittal, and it kind of just gives you an idea of kind of pulled back looking at it all. Up top is the existing north and west elevation with the dashed lines indicating the things we would like to remove. And then below them are what we would be replacing. And as you can see, all these same openings that we saw from the photographs are all existing, and we're pulling this garage door out, and we would like on the west facade and put in the glazing system, and we're rejuvenating these windows to being back to windows again, leaving this door, and then looking at the primary north facade, removing all of this clear story and replacing it with a system that we think, again, that is a simple sort of mullion and glazing system that we think that looks cleaner and is more relevant. I'm going to jump down here to some renderings to show you guys kind of a little more like what we think it's going to look like. So this is a rendering of the north facade and south facade and what we would like it to look like. And so again, replacing these clear story windows and putting in a steel awning, and then this simpler framing system. I'm going to kind of jump back real quick to this photograph because we referenced it because this is what we would ultimately like our facade to kind of emulate. And the idea here is it's kind of difficult. The renderings don't do justice to this, the way it's a patinaed steel, which has a blackened, rusted, limited and to a certain point. So it's not entirely rusted and black. It's kind of a mixture, but it's all made with steel. So it's not aluminum storefront. And then it would have the thermal glass in it. And this is the look that we're after, both in this planter and everything. We want to emulate this, and also the awning on the top. You know, these are roll-up doors, right? It's hard to make those out of steel, so they were aluminum. We don't have any roll-up doors or windows, so ours would end up being all just all the steel. Kind of jump back to that rendering again. So again, sorry guys, and pull back a little bit too, so we can kind of see both together. South elevation, west elevation. Again, we're just rejuvenating all of these openings to glazing systems. It's a little deceiving here. You know, ultimately this is the same material. This rendering, the lighting was a little brighter, and so it looks like we're doing some kind of a different material. But the intent here is that all of this metal and all of this steel and the windows, it's all the same as I kind of referenced in the adjacent building. So again, the idea would be that, you know, this storefront carries on very similar to that storefront that we just looked at. Last component of this is that we're in the Rio Nuevo zone, and we needed more shade. We didn't meet our shading coefficient, so we're being required to put 2 trees out front. And because of the utilities, there's complicated utilities under here. They can't be in ground, so they're going to be in planters. And then the planters become, you know, to a certain extent, a part of the design, right? And so we wanted to show you these. Here would be the final view, which would be this, the building with the storefront and the planters. And again, the planters look black here, but the idea is that all the planters, all the metal be the same kind of blackened, rusted patina metal look. And then here's a better kind of image of what we tried to capture what this looks like. You know, it's be a little darker, a little bit lighter in places, but it's like, again, a patinaed, rusted metal, blackened metal. And then these are our materials, right? We have this existing brick on the south facade, existing more redder brick on the west facade, and then the new steel. And then, of course, the glass. But again, we really only have these 4 primary materials that we're working with on the whole project. So I'm going to kind of jump back up and pan out to these 2 views, so we can kind of look at these both together, and then let you guys ask some questions if you want to. That's pretty much what we're proposing to do, and what I'd like to do.
Richard, I'd like to jump in real quick. And
Sure.
this is something that I addressed, and your coworker Jacob addressed this in a October 7th letter. It was a response to my comment about the brick deterioration going on there on the right elevation. Could
Yeah.
you speak a little bit about what you plan to do about the brick deterioration in the holes and missing mortar in the joints?
Yeah. So I'm going to kind of you're oh shit. Sorry, guys. You're talking about on this facade here, kind of in here or up and in here, or
It is mainly right there where we see the red brick, but I do
Yeah.
also have a concern on the front elevation.
Yeah.
But This picture doesn't quite show all the holes and brick
Okay.
deterioration. I went
Yeah.
out there myself and I took more close-up pictures, and Jacob addressed that, but if you could speak to that to the PRS, that'd be great.
Yeah, the end of the day, we would, where the mortar, in between the joints, we would repoint that with new mortar that we would try to match. And the idea would be to clean the brick as much as possible. If a brick was so badly deteriorated that it really needed to be replaced, then we would look at that. And I'm not sure where we would find, brick that would exactly match, but I do know I have other projects where we have been able to find, older brick to make it match. But that would be the idea, would be we don't want to replace it with new brick for sure. We would like to, if it was pivoted and we could still and we could still clean it and repoint it, that would be the first approach, and then if it really needed repair, because it was leaking into the interior of the building or something, then we would try to replace it with more similar bricks. Nothing new, that's for sure. This brick on the front, probably easier to replace this brick and this brick here, probably easier to find. It looks a little bit better condition than this brick is, but that would be the intent.
Yeah.
Is that correct,
Also,
Jacob?
too-
Is that what you were thinking? Good. Chime in.
Well, I just wanted you to just mention that to the PRS so they heard it, but if you could stay
Okay.
on that front elevation,
Yeah.
if you notice there's some nice detailing brick on the corners. You can scroll on the upper right-hand corner.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
So, but on the left-hand side, I was there yesterday. Some of that brick has shifted and there's a missing brick piece on the top, but when I look up at it, you can see clearly that there has been a shift going on. Brick has pushed out a little bit and it's on the upper left-hand corner.
Yeah.
Can you speak a little bit about that, please?
Jacob, do you know more about that than I do? Because this is something I wasn't involved in with this conversation. I knew we're not planning on doing anything new to it, but was that the intent, was that we would just try to repair it? And
Right.
keep it looking the same.
Right. Sorry. I was making sure we didn't get an echo. You guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
we can-
So, Jason, or to the panel, we were gonna kind of patch and replace any pieces of deteriorated woods, not woods, of bricks that were showing deterioration, just as Jason said. And I was trying to pull up the pictures that Jason had sent because they were really good pictures. But there were some chips and patches. Richard, I think you just need to mute really quick.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Jacob, if you like, I have those pictures I could share.
That'd be great.
Yeah, Jason, that'd be great. So it'll
Okay.
help kind of mold over. But ultimately, we were going to patch and replace all the deteriorated bricks as needed, not as a kind of during the as going, because it was one of those things. Is like we're trying to be careful of the site and be careful of the walls, and that we would really focus and pay attention to the two different types of bricks. And as Richard had mentioned before, any would closely match or to get, because it's hard to get the originals. All the eroded mortar joints will be filled in and joined as smoothly as possible that we can. And basically any holes that were in the bricks will just be kind of patched up and filled in to seal.
Okay, and then I'm showing the screen. Do you see what I have up the right elevation with that bay door?
Do I need to stop? Do I need to stop sharing, or I'm already stopped? Okay, go ahead. Yeah. Sorry,
Could
Jacob.
we see that bigger, Jason?
Yeah,
So Jason,
Yeah.
you need to open the file. We just see your
The
Files
screen with the
manager.
small,
yeah, let me try resharing 1 second. There it is, got it. That should do it.
Yes.
there you go.
Yeah, so you can see in Jason's real great pictures where his comments were kind of mentioning all these holes that you're kind of seeing around it. We had just stated, and I had stated to Jason that we were just going to patch up those holes and fill them as needed.
And then let me go ahead and scroll through. I would see, and also too, we've got brick deterioration down here by this doorway here, and there's another one by a downspout.
Correct. And I mean, again, that was again part of like how we replace and just patch up the ones that we needed. So like, of course, oh, go back.
Okay, you want me to go to this one?
Yeah, so for example, right there at the bottom left corner of that window, you know, that would be an example of how we would just kind of fill up and patch it.
I'm going to chime in here a little bit, Jacob. So we point the bricks in these areas. I think at this point in time, the two things that would concern, so right, we don't really mind this as a look as far as trying to make it look cleaner. We don't mind the look of it, but the two issues that would be of concern would be, number one, if it affected our building envelope. If any of these perforations like went all the way through to daylight, right, we would definitely need to address them from that perspective, and then also from a structural perspective. I think the next slide you showed, Jason, that might be something that was what affected us structurally. And so what we do have a structural engineer that is working with us for on the tenant improvement side of it. So we're putting some air conditioning on the roof that you won't be able to see from this. And so the idea would be we'll evaluate that. And if it needs to be repaired from a structural perspective, then again, the idea is just to try to replace the brick with a similar looking brick as little as possible. That's kind of our approach to this at any rate.
Okay.
If there are other recommendations from the historic department on how to better treat this, we'd be happy to entertain those
Sure.
ideas.
Well, and this is the point, the PRS will make those recommendations. I just want to bring it up. And then
Mhm.
one more matter I want to make show is, here's where you can see that nice brick detail, the low relief. This is the upper right-hand corner. But the
Right.
upper left-hand corner does not look like that. Let me jump to that image here. You can see how it's been shifted.
Mhm.
So this is on the upper left-hand, right next to the Pueblo Vita. So I wanted to have a better picture so everyone can see a little bit more up close what it is. And this is, for everyone to view, and then they'll make their comments and discussions and recommendations. So I
Okay.
think I'll stop there, and I'll turn it over to the PRS.
Thank you.
Terry, this is Joel. When was this building built? Do you know?
I don't know.
I
Does
think
anybody-
it's like 1912 or 1916.
Yeah, I know where there might be some, at least red bricks that might, if you need some.
That'd
That's
be great.
my only comment.
Before we go further with questions, who's on the phone with the last three digits 830? They're on mute,
Oh.
whoever it is.
Oh, yeah, those are the owners of the property.
Okay, and they are? We need their names too for
Yeah.
the
Minutes, it's just a minutes thing.
yeah.
Oh, for the minutes thing. Okay. Do you guys want to introduce yourselves? Yeah, there we go. Can you enter into the
Hi,
chat,
this is
Jacob?
Kyle Jefferson.
Yeah.
I'm sorry?
Thanks, Kyle. It's Kyle Jefferson. He
Yeah,
is.
This is
Cal Jefferson,
and then
owner.
Lynette Antione.
Yeah.
Could you
So
spell the last name?
Jacob is entering into the chat, so you guys can have it.
Oh, perfect. Okay. And
I
then
think-
one other
yeah.
question. There's Miguel. What's your last name again?
He's Miguel Fuentevilla.
Yeah, I've got it. Yeah.
Yeah, he's
And
from
then
Forest
Jacob
Architecture.
S. Jacob S.
That's Shadow.
Ask-
I'll type it in the chat as well.
Okay, thank you. That's really helpful. Okay, let's start with questions then. Who's ready to go first?
Yeah, I
can.
can. Oh,
Oh,
go
go
ahead.
It's probably the same stuff, honestly.
Yeah.
Well, I was trying to understand, and I think it's fine to make modifications to storefronts generally, but I was trying to understand what the existing storefront is like. Do you have a demolition or existing plan?
Well, the existing storefront was that's why we kept showing this. Let me share my screen again. Yeah. So again, so the existing storefront before it was boarded up was a deteriorated, oh, I'm sorry, guys. Yeah, the existing storefront before it was boarded up was a more deteriorated version of this shot in the dark cafe. It looked a lot like this. You know, now, again, this is a current photograph of the existing storefront right now. I think it's actually even more boarded up. This was right before we started the project, and this is boarded up now. There's demolition happening that will happen. But it was vagrants were getting in. It wasn't secure. So now it's all boarded up. But as far as the storefront looks, you can see remnants of that. You can see the T111 siding over here. You can see the kind of boarded up, the boarded up.
Yeah,
Kind of jump back
I
again.
guess I was just trying to understand the configuration and plan.
Oh, okay. So, I mean, again, just
Are you matching it exactly? I mean, it looks
Yes.
like originally honestly, it looked like the storefront was detached from the columns, like kind of tucked behind, and then they boarded it up and it became flush with the columns. That you're proposing, from what I can tell, engaging the columns as the corners of the storefront. So it seems like to me like maybe you're proposing a little bit different in terms of like the plane of the new storefront, but there's still
so when I look at
inset.
this and I look at this, it looks pretty similar to me. You can see we're in the back plane and these columns here, which are remaining. This is all the same as this.
They're always
It's
the same.
it's all these columns here and this plane. It's all the same. It's not really
Okay.
changing at all. I apologize. Maybe that was just something that I went through too fast.
No, it's okay.
Yeah, the plane's
We just
exactly
usually
the
like
same.
to see existing and new, so I can just see exactly what about the configuration has changed.
So this configuration, the indent, everything is the same. These dimensions, it's all, we're proposing it all remains the same, and just be our new materials really is kind of what we're kind of going for there.
Is there a ceiling in there that is to remain? Obviously, the beam is to remain, but the ceiling that forms the alcove lid, is that to remain?
Yes, exactly. So, it actually kind of mimics this curve here.
Really?
The ceiling it's a bow trusses in here, so you really can't see it from any of the ground views, but there's actually a vaulted ceiling that is open and exposed. That's remaining. We are going to have to put rigid insulation on the roof in order to achieve our energy rating and to be able to air condition it comfortably. So we're going to add insulation to the exterior, but you won't be able to see any of this. The
Right. I was talking about the ceiling of the inset. What is
the
that
ceiling of
material?
the inset. I'm sorry. Yes, exactly. The ceiling of the inset here. This area right here. Yeah.
Yeah. Is that replaced as well, or is that existing?
No, right now that's existing, and I don't. I'm not exactly sure what that is. I can't remember what that is, Jacob. It's probably wood. Is that wood? You think, Jacob? Yeah. I don't know what the condition of it is. If it's in decent condition, we'd be happy to keep it. I don't think we have a lot of plans for that area. If it's falling apart, we would want to replace it. But we don't. We're welcome to entertain suggestions if you guys think that's a relevant piece to this.
And
Well,
Savannah,
I was just trying to figure out how it came together because you're adding a canopy in front of the beam, right? So is it basically in line with the beam? It just goes back?
Yeah, exactly. So, in this old canopy here, it is in line with it, and there's nothing. We're a little higher, I guess. So let's scroll down to my rendering again. So we're higher than that inset. There's another level of clear story windows, so we're higher. We're up at the top beam, exactly.
Okay, that's what I thought. So yeah, I was just curious about that, and then.
but then I wanted to add one thing. We did over 100 hours of exhaustive search through Arizona Historical, Jonathan Mabry. Nobody has pictures on Broadway, unfortunately, catching this block from we burned so many hours. We always do an exhaustive search, and this is one of the first times where we basically came up with nothing. Even Jonathan had nothing, and he has his own library.
Interesting. Yeah. No, I mean, I wouldn't necessarily propose like you have to put it back as it is, or it is kind of nice to see reference photos. And then, I mean, especially because you are kind of putting back that clear story level because there's evidence of that. So I was mostly curious. I appreciate all that you're doing. Yeah, and then actually I have a question on the east, and certainly I appreciate making some effort to rehabilitate the masonry, as part of this construction effort as much as possible. But is the door, there's like a solid door in the middle, the white solid door, is that existing or is that new, or you're basically just replacing what is existing with the solid door there?
Yeah, that's exactly correct. We'll
Okay.
kind of like jump into, if I zoom into this kind of like blurry photograph, yeah, you can see it's an existing door.
Yeah.
It's white, we kept it, we're showing it as existing. At the end of the day, we might paint it. I don't love that thing being white, but right now we're showing it as if this is not being changed. So yeah,
Okay.
you can see it's got it's been filled in with some wood around it. We weren't proposing to do any modifications to that.
Okay. Yeah, it was like kind of everything else you're changing, so I was curious about that one. And then am I hearing right that you are replacing the roof so that there are drainage issues affecting the brick and things like that? That will be addressed as part of the roofing or the re-roofing?
Yeah, that would be correct. We're not replacing anything. We're just we're gonna add insulation and then reapply the topical, coat. We really weren't gonna do, it's been draining like it is for a very long time now, I think just via, roof scuppers. And we weren't gonna propose any modifications to that. I think this is a really old building and we're not really noticing any really direct water damage. It's just the building's old, and it's been deteriorating over time. Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Anything else, Savannah?
No.
Okay, Andrew?
Sure. The corner posts that are there now, are they wood or are they cast iron? Do you know? The ones up in those kind of front two corner posts of
Yeah.
that alcove?
Right. Yeah, I'll jump back to this. I think are they wood, Jacob?
They're metal.
Oh, they're metal, actually.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So
Yeah.
those are probably original from that era. Are you keeping those as part of the new storefront?
Yeah, we're keeping them, but we wanted to reclad them in a new metal that matches the rest of our storefront. So the idea would be that these are structural. We're keeping them, but we wanted to wrap them in this thin gauge of steel so that we could achieve a uniform look and get the without having to paint anything. That was kind of our idea.
Are they
Right.
clad right now, or are those? Are they
Yes, Andrew, I was gonna,
Okay.
yeah, you're correct, Andrew. I was gonna tie in. So right now it's actually a wood, they're two metal and they're just cladded with like a thin layer of wood around it.
Okay.
So-
All right. Okay, that's fine then. I was just making sure they weren't like a decorative cast iron element, from 1917. So,
No,
Um,
it's just bare metal.
okay, great. Yeah, I think the storefront configuration looks great to me. I remember shot in the dark, that whole right-hand corner, it wasn't even really storefront, it was like a screen and you could smoke there. But so it'll be nice to clean all this up. I think definitely the brick on the upper left portion there definitely needs to be addressed. I think there used to be like a blade sign for shot in the dark.
Yeah, you're exactly right.
Yeah. So that I don't know if when they took the sign off, if that's when the brick shifted or if something hit it, I don't know. But definitely want to fix that. The just to clarify, it looks like it in the renderings, but the material below the window, that's all the rusted steel as well, correct?
Exactly. Right. Yes, exactly.
Okay. All right, and then on the east side, can you just, I know there's no
Oops,
windows
sorry.
in those openings now. Can you kind of walk me through the configuration of those two bigger openings and at least like on the left-hand side here, the mullion being off center and everything. Just what's the
Yes.
logic?
Right. So you know, again, going back to the so the opening on the right is actually a roll up garage metal door. We'll kind of jump back here to this this photograph. And so yeah, so this is what we're looking at. This is a roll up garage metal door. We want to replace that. And then this obviously is kind of been filled in with security kind of features. But at the end of the day, we want to let me zoom back out again, you guys. Yeah, we need to add a door. You know, this is a roll-up door. We want this to be more of a person door. So we created this storefront so that we could. It's not as clear that this is a door here, but this actually is a door. Could jump over to the plan and you guys could see. So this is a door. So this just seemed a simple-ish way to divide up the. Since we're putting all new mullion in here, we were looking for a simple way to do it. And we thought that here's the door, and then we kind of there's some emollients that we kind of horizontal that we ran across here, so we kept this band also lined up with the head of the door, right? So put this door in and kind of divided up, and then added our metal down on the bottom here. And then the idea over on this side was we just tried to kind of emulate that a little bit, so it's like a mirrored version of it. This makes the view a little bit distorted, but the idea is we're just kind of matching those sides.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense to me. I follow your logic there.
Okay.
The 3 windows in the center that are probably single hung wood windows now,
Right.
are the new windows going to be fixed, or are they operable?
Yeah, we wanted them to be fixed, you know, and so that they would just, you know, we don't really have any need to open these or close these, so we would like to propose that they would be fixed.
Okay. Those are custom steel windows as well, right?
Yeah, exactly. Again, I apologize. This rendering of the lighting was a little off, but the idea is all of this metal is all the same. That kind of rusted steel. We're making them all. And again, that, you know, we kept kind of referencing you know, this photograph just to show that it can be done. And you know, that's oops, sorry guys. And yeah, that we kind of are emulating you know, again, you know, this kind of look, whereas we're making our own steel frames and not using an aluminum system.
Okay. On those 3 windows, I'm good with them being fixed, but if they're custom, then maybe we can set like the bottom sash back a little bit from the upper sash to at least give us that offset that the single hung windows would have had. But they don't have to be operable. But we'll see how the other commissioners feel about it. It's not a huge deal to me because at least you're keeping that middle division in there like they would have been. So yeah, I think that's the only comments I have at this time.
Okay, thanks. Joel, did you have anything? Because I have a couple things I just want to mention, but Joel, I'll let you go first.
I just have a couple quick things. When you're doing the new overhang, and I just may have missed this, are there any new penetrations in the existing bricks to hold the overhang up?
Yeah, no, the idea is that, you know, by using this steel, creating this custom steel frame, we have lots of nice solid attachment points, right? So the idea would be to attach to the top steel band here.
Okay.
Right.
I thought maybe, but that I want, yeah, good.
Yeah.
And a small point, it doesn't even matter, I don't suppose, but you had the trees offset. Was that a purposeful thing when you
Yeah.
why aren't they symmetrical around the door? Was that an intentional thing?
The fire hydrant?
Yeah, we have we showed it here graphically. We have a fire hydrant, and we were keeping some distance off of the fire hydrant, right? And then in plan, the rendering's a little deceiving, you know. But in plan, this is kind of where you can see we're locating right here. And we're keeping it off this fire hydrant, and we would like to usually to be a little more symmetric, and if we could sheet it that way, that would be better. You know, and it also there's a shade diagram that goes with this, that we had to achieve a certain shade pattern in order to satisfy Rio Nuevo. So if we push this tree further to the west, then our shade starts to fall. You know, our shade starts to fall like off into this area, and we needed it to be on the sidewalk. So there was some other there's some other tricky little nuances that we had to do for that.
Yeah, I saw the fire hydrant. I thought it was probably the fire hydrant, but I just
Yeah.
more curiosity. I think it's a matter of
Joel.
taste. Yeah, tell me, somebody.
So Jacob, so this is Jacob again. So there's not just the fire hydrant, but there's also a couple, and it's probably in like a TI plan or something. But there's actually some other utility openings that we needed to stay away. So actually the right tree was the one that we kind of purposely had to be like, okay, well, let's get a distance away from this man cover or this water opening. And then from there, we just kind of estimated where the second tree should go. So
Thanks, Jacob.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Good. And again, just a matter of taste. And I get it, so no worries. I like the plan. You guys did a great job. Good.
Great. I wanted to ask you about, let's go back to that window. Is everyone okay with Andrew's suggestion for the side there with is it the recess at the bottom, Andrew?
Yeah, I think kind of treating it as like a single hung window, but it just wouldn't be operable. So there's that shadow line, you know.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. Is everyone else okay with that? So it can go into a motion when we get there.
I'm good with that. Yeah.
Joel?
Yeah.
Okay, my point that I wanted to raise is, and I think that you're probably aware of this, but the revised Secretary of the Interior Standards has a whole section on masonry, you know, that if you Google that, and, you know, basically it's no harsh treatments that cause damage, and especially no chemical cleaning, harsh chemical cleaning or sandblasting when you clean them. And then there's a National Park Service Preservation Brief 2 that's all about repointing mortar joints in historic masonry. So, you know, you better get some good advice on that, especially if you're fixing that decorative portion on the upper left there. And are you guys familiar with those?
No, I'm not
resources?
actually. So those are things I'm going to look up after those meetings. Some
want me- I can-
some people in our office are familiar with them, but yeah, we'd be happy for any direction.
Yeah, I mean, it's really helpful because you see a lot of people painting brick, and that isn't always the best because it's not quite as bad as Adobe, the need to breathe, but it does need to breathe,
Right.
you know, because it gets sucks up water and everything. And I'm just wondering, Desiree, because is this an IID case?
Rio Nuevo.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so in terms of, I mean, could we put in the motion, I'm not sure if these types of cases can have minor reviews, because if they find when they start looking more closely at this brick that it's causing structural damage and it requires things that might affect the exterior, you know, maybe how would we indicate that? Maybe come back or at least contact your office or for advice? What do you
That's a good
think?
question. I see Maria here. I don't know, Maria, have we run into something like this before? I mean, often it's not uncommon for projects to come back with revisions, or, you know, things are discovered during construction and then we come back. So my thought is perhaps that, you know, we could have a condition if X, then Y, right? So if significant damage is discovered during work that, you know, then whatever the recommendation is.
That it could return, I mean, I think we'd like to know about it. Wouldn't you agree, Paris members? If it changes things?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. All right. And I will put these resources in the chat. If there are no other questions, someone could start thinking about a motion. That would be helpful. Who would
Okay.
like to do that?
I can make the motion. I think the only condition then is that window deal, and then do we want to say that if I don't know if we want to put the masonry repair, anything about that in the motion?
It's up to you.
Okay. I think I'm
Um,
good without it. I mean, they've been in contact with.
I'll put it in there because I think it's really important to have, but I can add that. And then also, well, something about if, when they are repairing the brick, if, you know, about if structural forensics discovers that, you know, the repairs will need to be more extensive, I think we'd maybe want to see it again, or at least have them consult with Desiree's office. What do you think?
Yeah, I think as long as they consult with Desiree's office, then I'm good. So if structural issues are found during masonry repair, that they need to consult with the Historic Preservation Office.
Does that work for you, Desiree?
Yes, sounds good.
Okay, so you want to go ahead then?
Yep. Okay. On the matter of SD 0625000098/TCCOM 0925011658 at 121 East Broadway, I recommend approval of the project as presented with the following conditions: that window 9, 10, and 11 be constructed to emulate the existing single hung windows, with the lower sash being inset from the upper sash, and that if or during masonry repair, if structural issues are found, the applicant should consult with the Historic Preservation Office.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll
Yeah,
second.
Yeah, we'll put
Savannah
Savannah. Okay, got it. Is there further discussion? Not, I'll go ahead and call roll. Terry says aye. Andrew,
Aye.
Joel,
I,
Savannah.
Aye.
Great. It passes 4-0, and I put those references in the chat for you, Richard.
I did see,
Yeah,
thank you very much. I saw those come through. Thank you.
Sure, good luck.
All right,
Um,
everybody.
And Ms. Majeski, members of the PRS, this project is gonna be reviewed by the Design Review Board on November 7th, so I would appreciate the copy of the motion
Yeah, I'll email
next week
them.
or, yeah, okay, great.
Yeah.
Hopefully the LAR will be done by then, but yeah.
It will be, yeah, it should be.
Okay, great, thank you.
Yeah, and again, Maria, if they come back, if they have completely different thoughts than we do, you know, let us know and come back.
Oh, yeah,
To talk to us
definitely.
about it.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. And
Everyone.
applicants, do you have any questions?
No, we're good. We appreciate all your input and thanks for all the positive response.
Yeah, well, good luck with the project. Take
Thank
care
you
now.
so much.
Bye-bye. All right, let's move on to case 4B. This is SD 0825 00129/TC-RES 0725-03490 at 502 East 4th Street. You can read the parcel there on your own, too many numbers to read. And this is to construct a new garage. It's in West University. It's a full review, contributing resource. And Michael, you're the staff contact. Do you have any other background for us?
Yes, Madam Chair. I will just add that, as you see on the agenda, is the construction of a new garage in the backyard. Not so much to add from the description that we gave, but the main residence was constructed around 1915. There have been some other additions on this property, one in 2018 and a pergola in 2019. There is an existing guest house in the back. So this proposed new garage is going to be constructed very near to the garage, and it's almost on the property line. This project was reviewed by West University on October 14, 2025, and it was recommended for approval as presented. The vote was 4-0. If there's any specific question on this project, I can answer. If not, I will turn it over to the architect, Mr. Bill Mackey.
Okay, Michael, before Bill starts, do you need a waiver of the setback on this?
No.
Okay. Thank you. Go ahead, Bill.
I'm not so sure about the waiver on the setback, but we can talk about that in a bit. The project is located here at 4th Street and 3rd Avenue on the southeast corner. This is the house, and then the proposed garage location is where the red rectangle is. This is the development zone that for the project, and you can see all the gray are the contributing properties within the development zone. There isn't one accessory structure that's a contributing property within this development zone, just for your information. All these structures that don't have any shading on them are not contributing. And so here's some pictures. If you walk up and down the streets along 3rd Avenue and 4th Street, this is 3rd Avenue looking east, and here's the primary structure, and this is the location where the garage will go. There's an existing storage shed located right beyond the wall there, and that's basically where will be replaced. And then there's the alleyway at the southern end of the property. More pictures of the neighborhood, the development zone. This is the front part of the property that you see along 4th Street looking south.
Mm-hmm.
And then here's all the kind of accessory structures within the development zone that aren't listed. But right here in the lower right-hand corner is actually the guest house that's on their property. We'll be building just to the northwest of that. Then this slide's really interesting because I was like, we're putting a garage right on the property line, and I went through and rode my bike around the neighborhood just to see what was out there like this. And actually, there's like 3 or 4 examples here that kind of show the same situation, and they're all ironically or not ironically corner lots, just like Chris does, the owners. And so they have like these fronts that are on a particular street, and then on the adjoining street, the corner street, is the garage. And you'll see that they exist either in 2-story or 1-story constructions. Some of them are contributing, some are not contributing. And so it's kind of a typology that actually exists in West University. And so here's looking down 3rd Avenue. We're walking to the south from left to right. And so that rectangle, the dashed area is kind of where the project will exist on the sidewalk. And so then here's an aerial showing the primary structure was built in 1915. There's an addition done in 2018, a pergola in 2019. The magenta is around the existing guest house, which is not listed, and then the project site is the red dashed area. And then you can see where it is in the yard, inside the yard, where it's going to be located. So the formal site plan, The building's gonna be located to the northwest of the existing guest house, with some stairs that go down to it because there's a significant grade change between the yard and Third Avenue. There will be a new drive cut in the right of way there to access the garage. This is the demo plan, so we'll be taking out a portion of the existing CMU wall that I think was built in 2018, maybe. And then remove the shed structure, and then there's a wood gate and fence that's separating the guest house from the primary residence that we'll be taking down and replacing. And so here's the garage. It'll be just frame structure. It's like 16 feet by 22 feet or so, with a door that is out at the front to the west, and then another door that accesses from the stairs from the primary residence, and then a metal gate and fence in between the existing guest house and the new garage. Here it is in elevation. The west elevation is the primary kind of elevation that you're probably concerned with the most, and that's the street elevation along Third Avenue. So we have a stucco building with a gable roof that's the same pitch basically as the guest house and very close and to the existing residence. A metal panel overhead door with rusted finish, asphalt shingle roof with roof trim similar to the guest house and the existing house, exposed rafters, eave rafters, with tongue and groove on the underside. The asphalt shingles similar to what's on the existing residence in the guest house. And then a small window above the garage door, which will be a metal clad wood window. There's going to be some railings right here for where the people go down, and it's just going to be like 1x1 tube steel, rusted finish. And then we'll replace the stucco wall in between the new garage and the existing pillar, just to match existing height and existing texture. Here's a section of it so you can see how the grade change in section number 2. This is the grade of the existing house. This is the grade of the road. The height of the garage is less than the height of the existing guest house on the property, as well as the existing main house. And then here's all the text that you can read at your leisure on how it, how it complies with all the design parameters of Section 589, as well as the guidelines within West University, and then the development plan or site plan comments from the city of Tucson. Height and setbacks. These aren't meeting UDC requirements, but they're within the compatibility of the development zone and the West University guidelines. That's it. Any questions?
Okay, who'd like to start with questions?
I can go. What material is the garage door?
It's metal.
Okay,
And it'll rusted metal.
gotcha. Okay, cool. That's the only question I had. Thanks.
Okay. Savannah?
No, great job. Thanks. Looks good to me. It seems like we probably should say something in the motion to about the setbacks or the height, possibly, just to memorialize it, but it looks fine to me.
Yeah, in the past, we've just said like setbacks and height per the drawings. We approved that or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, is that all you have, Savannah?
That's it. No, it looks good. Thank you.
Joel?
Yeah, this show, I just want a clarification. The garage door, I guess you call it, it's the west elevation, correct? Where the garage door is?
Correct.
Is that the side of the building that's 16 feet wide? And then the depth of the thing is, I thought you said something over 20 feet. Is that
Correct.
right? Okay. That's the only thing I had. Thanks.
Okay, I'm good too, Bill. Who would like to make the motion?
I can do it.
Okay,
All right, on the matter of SD-082.00129/TC-RES-0725-03490 at 502 East 4th Street. I move to recommend approval of the project as presented, including the setbacks and height as proposed.
good. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, all right. Is there further discussion? Okay, if not, Terry votes aye. Andrew?
Aye.
Savannah?
Aye.
Joel?
Aye.
Great, it passes unanimously 4-0. Thank you, Bill. Since you know the drill, well,
Thank you very much. As usual, it's always
good luck.
good seeing you guys.
Good to see you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, we'll move on to item 4. Well, it says 4D on the agenda, but we'll put in
Sorry about
brackets
that.
that it's
Yeah.
4C. That's okay. We'll just put it as 4C.
Yeah.
And this is SD 0825 00127 /TC-RES 0825 03988 at 1047 North 2nd Avenue. And the proposed project is a new attached 190 square foot screen porch to an existing 906 square foot single family residence. It's a full review in West University, contributing resource, and so on. And Michael is the staff contact. Do you have any information on this for us, Michael?
Yes, Madam Chair, is West University reviewed this on the same October 14 for the 190 square foot screen porch. And their recommendation was they moved to approve the project as presented with the position that the fence can either be wrought iron or solid block with stucco. Noting concerns that the wall is solid and should not be and not more than 50% transparent, but are willing to approve the solid block wall given the extenuating circumstances. West University was because walls in the front are not allowed to be more than 4 feet. So West University was doubting on this one whether they should actually approve what is being proposed here or to give special consideration for the wall. And they wanted some kind of 50% transparency so that at least part of the property can be seen from the property can be seen. Although the applicant argued that this is not the main street. And so there was that discussion with West University. So I'm not sure what the plans review is going to consider as their own way on the wall height here. Other than that, it was a straight review.
Okay. All right, we'll go ahead and hear this then. And I assume this is you, Bob and Stephen? Bob?
Bob Liney and
Yeah,
Stephen.
We're here. Sorry. Yeah, we're both here. We're gonna share. It's this one. Yeah, yeah. So. So this is the historic property inventory form. You can see the residence, the significant date is 1907. Here is the assessor's map, and this might be a good time to bring up kind of some of the confusion is that this is our lot and our address is on 2nd Avenue. And it appears that, you know, historically this home was built, you know, it's kind of unusual, but it does happen that the house was built way far back in the parcel. And so the front of the house, you know, faced 2nd Avenue, but at some point the parcel was split. And as you can see here, a duplex was built in front of it. So yeah, so it creates some confusion about, you know, if our address is on 2nd Avenue, what is the considered the front? It is a contributing structure. This diagram kind of shows what the prevailing setbacks are, you know, along the alley. You can see that our new screen porch is kind of matching the prevailing setbacks along that alley. These are contributing properties within our development zone. This is you know, our residence. This is the west elevation, which faces the alley.
Faces Bean, yeah.
Yeah, Bean. This is what was historically, you know, the front of the home has a nice front porch. And what else would be, you can see right about, you know, right about here is where the addition, the screen porch addition, it's going on the north side of the structure. This is a good picture of the existing wooden fence that we're proposing to replace with a block wall that's stuccoed. This is an existing shed that's going to have to be you know, removed as part of this project.
It was built in 23, so it's not old.
Yeah, not historic. And so, yeah, here you can see the aerial, and you know, it's a tough situation because our client, you know, obviously, if we're saying this is a lot of area that she currently uses as, you know, private outdoor space, and she wants to, you know, continue to use that as private outdoor space. And so this, yeah, so that's partly why we would like to continue to keep, you know, maintain privacy. And the other issue is that we are this residence is really close to Speedway. And it's just, there's just for security and privacy reasons, that's another, you know, contributing factor for why our client would like a block wall, and for noise, for that, you know, for that matter. Here's our site plan. And this is the screen porch. And the block wall going around, there'd be a vehicle gate on the west over here, and the block wall does turn in. Not unlike the existing wooden, you know, existing wooden gate or fence right now. And here are the proposed elevations for the screen porch. It's you know, the porch has a hip roof that will just come off of the existing hip. And
to the north, coming straight north.
yeah. And yeah, there'd be a stucco up to this sill height, and then wooden posts, painted wooden posts, and screens between these 6x6, well, 6x6 posts out here, and 4x4 in between the screens. So,
And the frames of the screens, did you say? I'm sorry if I missed that.
oh, yeah, there, I didn't say specifically like what the frames of the screens would be.
But they're painted wood.
Yeah. Okay.
Is that somewhere in the call out? Do you have notes?
No, not
We noted,
specifically.
we noted the post over here.
Yeah, the
And we
post.
noticed, but we didn't actually call out the screen frames themselves.
Mhm.
The
I think
stucco
that might be
sill-
good.
The stucco sill would match existing, the stucco below the sill would match existing, the shingles up above would match existing. So,
Could you go back to sort of the plan? I mean, so you can show me the front of the house again, and then let's see, go back a little bit.
So, yeah, this is. Yeah,
so that elevation
main-
that we showed, the photograph from the front was looking on the bottom right-hand side there that it says east porch. That's, in our opinion, originally the front porch of the house, 1907. So. And it kind of makes sense that that's the way it is, because when you look at the current portion of the house that faces Bean, it looks like the rear of the house. So that's how we ended up with what we did.
So, okay, so where is that gate? Is there visibility through that gate that you showed to the front of to the house?
We're proposing that to be rusted steel frame with corrugated steel rusted also, so.
But is it a solid gate or is it open? Can you see through it?
It'd be solid. And you see that also, let's go to that one drawing on the Bean Avenue drawing.
Yeah, so,
That's where you see it right here, on the bottom there. We have an elevation of that with the front, with the wall there and the gate that slides right there. And so that's the new plastered wall with the steel gate.
and then the existing gate to remain, and that's also solid, or is it not
Oh,
solid?
that's wood. It's been there for a while now. It's that.
Yeah.
There is a photograph of it. We can find it. Let's see here. It's right there at the it runs along there where that Carmen Gia is. So,
Yeah, okay. Got it.
oops.
So the fence, the wooden fence is the same height? Is that just perspective? Like that reddish
Yes.
orange car, is that the same height, or can people see over to
It's
see the
6
house?
feet. It's approximately 6 feet height.
Okay.
So we're replacing the 6-foot wood fence with a 6-foot concrete block, stuccoed concrete block fence on the west and the north.
Okay. All right, are you ready for other questions?
Actually, there's one more thing I wanted to say. Can you go to that? I want to.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh, yeah.
The last item that we didn't bring up yet is there's one window on the north elevation. There's an existing historic wood double hung window at the kitchen sink. And we'd like to remove that and install a clad wood pair of double hung windows in its place, just to get more light into that kitchen, which is very dark. But we keep the sill height the same. We keep the sill the same configuration of stucco. We keep the head height the same. So the only thing that would change would be the width of that opening.
Okay.
This is Joel. Is there a mullion in the middle? And if so, how wide is that?
Of that new window?
Yes.
It'd just be probably 2 inches. It would actually be a single window. That's one of those double windows where they just basically in the factory, they put 2 windows together, and in the factory, they combine them into a single unit. So I'd guess 2 inches. It's basically just a pair of jams that are put together.
Gotcha. Okay, thanks.
Okay, other questions?
Terry, this is Joel. I think this is a good plan. The only drawback I see is that I don't see where they're gonna tear down the building to the east to get to the lot to do the construction, but otherwise it looks good to me. Yeah, that's a joke. A pretty good one.
Yeah, I got it. I'm with you. Yeah, it is not contributing and it not even close. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, Andrew Savannah?
Yeah, can you go to the pictures of the existing elevations real quick? Or actually, I think maybe in the plan I could see it there too.
The plan?
The plan?
Yeah. Yeah, I pulled up the Sanborn just out of curiosity, and it looks like that the 2 rooms in front was like the original house, and then the back was some sort of porch that was closed in at some point. It's just interesting. But yeah, I agree with your all's assessment of what the front of the house is for sure. It's just a weird situation. But um I think the screen porch to me looks good on the widened kitchen window. I don't have an issue with that. I would say that the mull between the 2 windows though should be wider, and I would look towards uh in the development zone, kind of look at, there's a bunch of examples of mold windows, sometimes like sets of 3 of them, and they typically have like a 4 to 6 inch mole between them. So I would do something closer to that.
Okay.
Yeah, I think in some of the pictures of the development zone adjacent properties, there's probably some examples to reference. But other than that, I think it looks good.
Savannah?
Yeah, I mean, I was curious about the window. It did look like, I mean, based really on wall thicknesses, that it is in a the one that's proposed to be replaced is in a portion that was a later addition to the original.
I think that's right. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I like Andrew's suggestion, and I'm fine with it, along with the screen porch. And I agree that east elevation is really the primary elevation, and the one that, per the guidelines, that's the one we'd want to see and sneak peeks at, but it doesn't seem like it's possible. So I agree with the wall assessment as well.
Okay, are there other questions, or are we ready for a motion? And we should mention something like West University did about the wall height so that it's known how we weighed in on that. And also the window. So maybe Andrew, since that was your window suggestion, you could go ahead with the motion.
Okay. What are we saying about the wall height? That it's okay as presented at 6 feet?
Yeah, and maybe mention something like they did where, what did they say? Noting concerns, they're willing to approve the solid block given the extenuating circumstances at that height, right?
Mhm.
Okay.
Something like that.
Okay, just give me 1 sec.
Oh, excuse me.
Okie doke. Oh shoot, sorry, my agenda just crashed, so let me pull it back up. Okay. All right, on the matter of SD 0825000127, TCRES 0825033988, I move to recommend approval of the project as presented with the following conditions: that the widened kitchen window have a wider mull between the two windows, more similar to those found in the development zone, and that the solid wall as proposed is acceptable given the extenuating circumstances.
Do you want to add the height of it, or is it intimated in that?
Yeah,
The
I just
wall
said
is
as presented, yeah. So.
Okay. All righty. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, thank you. Is there further discussion? Okay, if not, Terry votes aye. Andrew?
Aye.
Savannah?
Aye.
Joel?
Aye.
Great, thank you. It passes unanimously 4-0. Bob or Stephen, do you have any questions?
Nope. Mhm.
Okay. All right, then we'll move on to what's listed as 4C, which is really in brackets 4D. SD 0825-00136/TC-RES-0725-03718 at 1023 North First Avenue. And this is for a new accessory dwelling unit. Michael, do you want to introduce this with the rest of the proposed project?
Yes, Madam Chair. This project is a new attached ADU with a porch in the rear yard. They are also proposing to demolish an existing 338 square foot shed that was constructed about 1999. In this particular project, you'll be asked to provide a waiver for setbacks. According to the code, the side street setback is 10 feet. So on Jacoby's, they are proposing 5 feet instead of 10 feet. So they'll be requesting a setback from 10 feet to that 5 feet along Jacoby's. There you will see on the plans that they also have a 6-foot wall, which will be a rusted corrugated steel fence with a gate. They are also proposing to demolish a steel and masonry fence that exists on the property right now. On October 14, 2025, West University reviewed this project, the same plans you are looking at today, and recommended approval as presented with the approval of the requested setback from 10 foot to 5 feet along Jacoby's. With this, I end my presentation, and if there's any question from the board, I may want to answer. If not, I will turn it over to Stephen and Bob for their presentation.
Okay, I want to just mention that West University also said one of the members of the advisory board said that they would like to see compatible but differentiated design, just to keep that in mind as we're reviewing this. So go ahead.
Yeah, so this is the historic property inventory card for this property, 1917 is the date of construction.
So it goes all the way through from First Avenue to Jacobus.
So here's the existing principal structure that's contributing, and yeah, we have a closer aerial we'll get to. Yeah, here it's contributing. Here's kind of showing the prevailing setbacks along Jacobus, just to show that there's a lot of historic structures that don't meet that 10-foot side street setback requirement. Contributing properties in our development zone. And this is the existing residence on the parcel. This is the accessory structure that was built in 1999 that we're going to remove to make room for the ADU. This is the wooden fence along Jacobus that we're proposing to replace. And there's this, you can kind of see through this wooden fence. There's another kind of fence in the middle of the parcel, which you'll see on the site plan. We're proposing to demolish part of this this fence, but it's really not visible from, unless you're inside the property. Yeah, that fence I was talking about kind of goes right here and then it jogs right there. And so this is the accessory structure on the left that's getting removed, and this is where the ADU will be built. Go to our site plan. Yeah, so this is Jacobus, and we have 2 parking spaces here. Front door that kind of faces Jacobus, but there's a back porch in the back that faces the existing residence. And then, yeah, here you can see partial demolition right here of that wall in between, but it's not really like a historic wall or anything. Let's zoom out some more. The floor plan and the elevations. And yeah, most, the structure, it's a big hip roof, which is kind of a nod to the existing residence. And then there's a little parapet that comes off of the hip roof and
Towards the south.
yep. And then we have wood posts with some knee braces and brick sills. And there's an awning at the front door, at the front elevation, that kind of extends down. And
That's what faces Jacobus.
yeah, this is, yep. And then this is that elevation with the rusted corrugated steel fence. There's a vehicle gate over here and a people gate, 42-inch wide people gate right here.
And the height, I'm sorry, is
6 feet.
6 feet, okay.
Yep.
Before you go on, Andrew, you had a clip of a Sanborn in the chat. Is that this property that for the main
No,
house?
that was the previous one.
Okay, that's why my head was hurting for that. I didn't know. Thank you. Go ahead.
So our concept on this was to try to create a 2-bedroom ADU at the rear of the parcel that allowed for parking off of Jacobus, vehicle parking off of Jacobus, but also had an area that could face into the parcel, so that it's going to be family members here, and so it's kind of a shared family environment. And so that's why we have the porch facing to the interior of the lot a little bit. So that was the nature of it. And then a big hip roof over the whole thing, with the exception of that southern bedroom. So that was our big concept. Is that it?
Yeah, I think that covers it.
Okay, who would like to start with questions?
I could go. I just had a few. The single family, the primary residence, that's a hip roof as well. What's the height of that relative to the ADU?
Well, there's a lot of topography on this site. It's like a surprising amount. And so on the front, you can see here that, it's pretty standard. And there is this big, it's a hip roof with this big dormer detail at the front and at the back. But you can see on the back, there's actually kind of like a walkout, almost like a walkout basement at the back. Let me zoom in on that. And this was an addition that was done I should know the date of it, but this is actually an addition. It's not part of the original structure. And it's very tall. And our addition or our ADU is, well below substantially. Yeah.
Should we get an
Okay.
aerial? Would that help?
Yeah. But we also like this structure just north of us.
Yeah.
It's also like surprisingly like tall. I think we have a picture of it. The
So
photograph.
you're below that height.
Yep.
Yeah, we were. Yep. And I think it's like,
That's it right there.
yeah, this photo doesn't really do it justice, but there's like 3 or 4 steps up to this door, and then it just kind of goes
Yeah.
up. So it might be because of
Grade.
yeah, grade, but this structure, yeah, we're the same height as this structure or less than.
Okay.
Discuss that in our narrative.
Okay, and then the parapet, it's just a different roof configuration, or is it to conceal mechanical equipment, or is that on the ground?
No, we just decided it was either gonna be an extension of that hip roof over it or something different like a parapet, and we just kind of picked a parapet. We thought
Okay.
to keep the hip roof to be just kind of a pure hip roof with this addition onto that.
Okay, so we won't see any equipment.
No, no.
Okay.
It's gonna be a split unit, split AC with a condensing unit located at grade in the rear.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, no, I think it's straightforward. I see no issue with the proposed setback either, and the doors and the windows, they're all clad wood, or I see
Yes,
that on
yeah.
the window. Okay. Yeah, I think it's good. Thanks.
Great. Andrew or Joel?
Sure.
Uh,
Go
I
ahead.
really don't, Andrew, I really don't have anything except to say, I know this area well, and this is a vast improvement. So I think it's a good plan. So I'm gonna let the pros do the technicalities, but I like it, and I'll go along with whatever you guys say, but it's a vast improvement.
Great.
Thanks.
I think the only thing giving me a little heartburn is the parapet roof mixed in here. I get your logic, and I know we have kind of all of these roof forms in the development zone. We have hip roof, gable roofs, and parapet roofs. Is there any precedent in the development zone for the mixing of these two, the parapet roof and the hip roof?
Go to the aerial of our development zone.
So I know you've got a few parapet roof houses, but I don't really see any that have like the combination of those. That's the only thing that kind of gives me a pause, is it sticks out a bit to me.
Yeah, I didn't want to look at that one, but yeah, I'm looking at this. It seems like it's either parapet but there's not really a both.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, I think it's kind of a matter of taste, but my feeling is that it just making it all hip roof would be more compatible with the residents and with the development zone. I don't know how Savannah or Joel or Terry feels about it, if you guys feel strongly.
No, I agree with you.
Yeah, I tend to agree as well, but I'm just a little concerned about imposing that, as it seems to tend more towards preference than requirement, but Yeah, I don't know. I could go either way.
Yeah, I agree. I'm a little hesitant to stand too firm on it because I think it is kind of a matter of taste, but um, I think the design guidelines are pretty vague in that regard too,
Yeah.
and that it just needs to be compatible with with the contributing structure, which it doesn't really tell us anything. So
Well, and it's not really visible, is it?
yeah, it would be from
Mm.
Jacobus.
Yeah, certainly
With that,
Jacobus, it would be.
yeah.
But on the other hand, I have to say Jacobus is all over the place, you know, especially in that area, which is right around where I live, you know, but.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I think if it's a matter of taste and there's no strong feelings about it, we can let it stand as it is, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think yeah, I guess I would go either direction, right? Because it does provide a little bit of, you know, distinction too,
It does.
which is important for, you know, an ADU relative to a historic primary. So
Yeah, it almost feels like the ADU could have been like the original building and then this was added on or something. So it has that kind of evolutionary quality to it, which I don't mind.
Yeah. All right. So who would like to make the motion? One of the two of you flip and do it.
I can do it since Andrew's done most of them. Let's see. And I think I want to mention, right, the west setback proposed at 5 feet is acceptable.
Yeah, we need a waiver for that setback, yeah.
Just looking to see is there anything else I need to note?
Not that I have in my notes.
ADU setbacks are 5 foot side and rear, right? Regardless of height.
Yeah, and that was one question that we had where I think someone, it might have been Taku, that said, you know, it's one thing that's tricky is he said make sure that the height of your accessory structure is compatible with other structures in your development zone. But I think there's just something in the code that's kind of confusing where it says that for ADUs you're allowed to compare the height of ADUs to principal structures. Do you guys have an idea of which rule we're supposed to be following? Like should ADUs be compared to the height of principal structures or compared to the height of accessory structures?
Yes, Stephen, it was me who said that. Comparing in the HPZ guideline, you compare accessory structures to accessory structures. But with a new ADU rule, you can actually compare the height of the ADU to the principal structure.
Okay, got it.
And that's what you did, right? So you said it's slightly shorter?
Yeah, I mean, we're way shorter than the principal structures, and we're even shorter than the accessory structures. Yeah, I was just curious for my knowledge. Yeah.
Okay. So Savannah, were you mulling this over?
Yeah. I think I can just, it sounds like I don't even need to mention the setback, but I'll do it just in
No,
case.
Michael would prefer you did because
No, we
do
prefer you do in this case, please.
I hear you. Okay. And is there anything else? Do you guys? There wasn't anything else. I know that the advisory committee, did they say something? Let me look real quick.
The compatibility,
compatible but
differentiated.
Yeah.
But that wasn't in the motion.
That wasn't in the motion. Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah, and we talked about it that it is slightly differentiated in my opinion.
Yeah, I think so. Okay, we're all good. On the matter of SD-08255-0013/TC-RES-0725-03718 at 1023 North First Avenue. I move to recommend approval of the project as presented, including the west setback proposed at 5 feet is acceptable.
Second.
Okay, is there a second?
Yeah, I'll second.
Is there discussion? Okay, if not, Terry votes aye. Savannah?
Aye.
Andrew?
Aye.
Joel? Great, thank you again. Unanimous 4-0. Bob and Steven, any questions on this one? Or are you good to go?
Well, so since this one was approved without any conditions, it seems like what we've been experiencing is if things are approved with conditions, we have to change our drawings to reflect those conditions and then send them to Michael Taku and then wait for a decision letter. But since this project was approved without any conditions, do we now just wait for a decision letter?
Yes.
Michael?
Yes, that is correct. You don't need to revise your design.
Okay.
But just so you note, going forward, here's the policy. And we are also encouraging applicants and professionals when you attend meetings to please also try to take your own notes. We'll do the best to provide the legal action report and the conditions which Savannah and Andrew are always good at giving it to us. We'll do our best to provide that to you. And the process is, once there are conditions that are there, you have to look at the conditions of West University, you look at the conditions from Plans Review Subcommittee, you revise your design package and show how you are complying with those conditions that have been recommended by both the advisory board and the Plans Review. And then we would review it to make sure that those conditions are met. And once they are met, we would proceed to generate an approval letter, which will be a clean letter, and then we'll send it to you. Unlike the past, and what Bob wrote to us, and he was right. In the past, we used to send out approval letters with conditions, and then you will revise your plans based on those conditions and submit to us. And then we will stamp the plans at that time. And so the new direction and the feeling of the director is, if you just do all of this one time and before they sign the approval letter, all this has been verified and they are good to go, then you will just proceed to the permitting. You will not wait for staff to review it again. That is where we are. So if it is approved, if West University provides no recommendation, no condition, Plans Review provides no condition, I want you to also take note that the staff can review, in addition to the conditions suggested by both the advisory board, there could also still be a staff condition that can be added, or the director can add another condition on it. So we would always let you know whether you need to revise your design package or not, based on what the staff review after the 2 meetings are, and based on what the director feels.
Thanks, Michael. I just want to add, for clarity's sake, so yes, at the end of the review process, right, the project goes through 2 different committees, and then there's staff input as well, and sometimes what's recommended in the 2 committees could be contradictory. So I would just say that that we will be giving applicants direction, kind of bringing everything together, giving you direction on that final revision before the decision letter. So I just wanted to add, hopefully that clarifies.
Well, let's say, Desiree, that our recommendation was different than the advisory board and you had yet another one. Would you mention that to us? Because I feel that I would want to know as part of our discussion what you were thinking. If you were going to come back and say something completely different, I mean, that would be very
disconcerting for me.
It's not so much that we would say something different. Like we had a recent case right in the barrio where there was that ADU in the barrio where what the barrio had recommended was actually contradictory to what you all recommended. And so as staff, we have to decide, are we going to go with your recommendation? Are we going to go with barrios? Is it some combination thereof? And so that's what I mean. But if we're telling the applicant, oh, make your recommendations based on both committees, I think we need to actually give them very clear direction on.
I agree, because what if you decide something different?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's more
and
so
that
what I
would be,
mean.
yeah, that would be frustrating. Okay, I just wanted to get clarity on that. And that's how it's always been. Like, we're not beholden to what the advisory board says, and just like they wouldn't if we reviewed it first, right? They might have different opinions. And that's why you guys call it. Okay. Does that make sense, Bob and Stephen?
No, it doesn't. I'm still unclear.
It's like it was in the past. So there's 2 reviews and they're independent reviews. The West University Historic Zone Advisory Board and PRS, right? And so then we each make our recommendations. Desiree has those. They discuss and they will let you know which revisions to make, what they're going to recommend to the director. Right?
By letting us know, is that the decision letter, or is it some more informal and just a notion ahead of the decision letter? Because the decision letter, it sounds like now, is coming much later.
It would be in the form of an email. We would provide what revisions need to be changed in that final design. And then we would codify that in this decision letter and stamp the plans at the same time. And so that's what we've been doing for.
I hate to say this, but you guys have just added a month to the process easily, because you've doubled it up. So now you're saying there's an informal, you're going to send an email, we make the changes, and then we turn around and submit them back to you. Then you turn around and write the decision letter. Then we take that decision letter and submit it for permitting. And at that point, do you review it again? I mean, it's borderline absurd, I have to say.
No, that's not what she's saying. I think she's trying to make it easier for giving you a preview, and it could be you're working on the minor revisions to that and they're doing the letter. So it could all, and then you're done with it and you get it all stamped. So I don't think it's going to take any more time. Is that right, Desiree?
Yeah, and this decision was, it came from the planning director before I started. So it's not a new thing. Maybe it's new within the last, I don't know, year and a half, Michael.
Yes, that's correct.
So yeah, I think the idea is that it's cleaner so that we know from our historic review what we're actually approving, rather than waiting for the applicant to submit it in the main permit. So we complete the decision letter and stamp the plans at the same time. I can take your feedback back for sure, but that's been the direction that we've received, and we've been doing that for the last year at least.
Well, we have never received like an email from you guys saying, okay, you went through the neighborhood meeting, you went through this meeting, and this is what we want you to do based on that. We've never received an email.
Yeah, and that's something that I want to implement. So we're implementing it moving forward now, so that you don't have to go back and watch, videos and make assumptions about what the decision is.
Okay, and so like, how long will it take to get that email turned around?
You should be getting it the same day.
Oh,
yeah, if not the day after.
Meeting?
Yeah, the same day or the day, within 24 hours.
Oh, wow. Okay. Is that isn't all this stuff like in the administration manual, like these processes, like or
No, they're being revised. Right, Desiree? I mean, we're working to make things, and we're reviewing more cases than we normally review in meetings. So we're trying to move it along just as much as you would like to move it along.
Yeah.
Right.
I think like for the exceptions would be in cases that are very tricky, that are controversial, where we need to sit down with director and actually you know, brief her and whatnot. But for cases that are pretty straightforward like this one, I think you can expect direction within a day.
Okay. Sounds good. Thank you.
Great. Well, thank you. And so we've got your motion. Let's see, we got what, 2 motions from Savannah and 2 from Andrew? Is that what we have? Savannah.
Yeah.
And so we've got that you've emailed those, or you will email those?
Yep. They've been emailed.
Great, thank you. Just so that I think it's important. So, all right, well, thank you. So item 5 is current issues for information discussion. 5A is minor reviews. Could we have an update on that?
I will update on the minor reviews in Ameripark and West University, and my colleague Jason may update you on minor reviews in Air Presidio and the Barrio, if there are any, and Fodlo, if we have any. For West University, we currently have only 1 minor review that I'm working on right now. That is at 318 East Speedway for a solar panel. And then in Ameripark, I have 209 East 16th Street for windows and HVAC on the St. Andrew Church. I also have a fence at 219 East 13. And I have a residential pool at 817 South 3rd Avenue. What we have been doing is a lot of this we are sending to Andrew to help us with the review on that. And I believe that I already have the review from Andrew on the church, which is the one at 209 East 16. I'm waiting for the review comments from the representative of Ameripark. I also have comments from West University for 318 East Speedway. So that one is ongoing. I got comments from 219 East 13 and 817 South 10. So I'm at the stage of generating approval letter for those. That's what I have for West University, and continue to thank Andrew for the quick turnaround time that he has been giving us on various projects. And lately we did another one in downtown, which is the handrails, the balcony in the Fox Theater, which Andrew gracefully reviewed that for us. And then we have a couple of signs that we have been looking at. There is 444 East a university, which is a time market sign, which is a historic landmark. This one was reviewed last year by both West University and Plans Review Subcommittee, but the applicants are coming over now with some minor revisions. So we are going to look at those minor revisions to that as a minor review. West University is already aware of that, so I'm just bringing that to your attention, and I will be sending out information on what is the proposed changes, I believe, to Andrew very soon. That's what I have for minor reviews in both West University and Ameripark for today.
Okay, Jason,
And
do you have
what I have to report is, I am unmuted, yes. I really got done a lot of minor reviews several weeks ago. So right down, I'm down to only 1, but this is not in any HPZ. This is going to be in a special district regarding signs along Broadway. So really I have 1 minor review that's in the queue. But of course, you know, we could be getting more in the future, but right now it's just down to 1 at this current time.
Okay, thank you. Any questions on those? Thank you, Andrew, for helping with those.
Yeah.
Okay.
Real quick, Michael, when you send the time market packet, can you also send what our previous motion was on that if it's not included in the material? Just to jog my memory. It's been a while.
Sure.
Thank you.
Great. Okay, item 5B is appeals. Any update on appeals?
Updates.
None at this time then?
No.
Okay, item 5C, zoning violations.
No update.
Okay, item 5D is review process issues. I did want to bring up, it was somewhat disconcerting last night when mayor and council met to hear about the Fox Theater. I had spoken to, Corin had called me about some other things yesterday morning, and I went over, I said, I can't be there because I'm traveling, and I'm watching the kids up in Phoenix, so I couldn't be there. So anyway, I understood something different, and then Andrew sent whatever that, or no, Corin sent the administrative, or the summary of the resolution, and then Andrew commented, and then Corin commented back, and so did Desiree. But the reason I'm concerned is because it calls out PRS as saying something that I'm not sure we said. I mean, it was never a question of us not reviewing the replacement plan if there was not very much difference from what they told us before. So, unless we see what is promised that came out of our mouth, it troubles me. And I don't know if you felt after that explanation, Andrew, that it was clear and okay.
I don't know. I think the wording of the resolution is still funky to me. The way I read it is it implies that we have reviewed and approved the replacement plan, which we haven't. So, but I don't know. The legalese kind of wording of those resolutions is very just odd in general. So maybe maybe I'm reading more into it, but I was reassured by Desiree and Corin's responses that
Me too.
the process is playing out how we understood it to be playing out. So I think it's okay.
But so it was just sort of odd. And who writes those resolutions?
So our city attorney reviews them, the staff drafts them. But yeah, there was a lot of discussion between our office and the city attorney because things have to be written in a certain way. So some of the language we were using, like conditionally approved, and that doesn't match the process in the UDC. So we have to stick with what the process in the UDC is, and so that's why that language is very specific. But the code requires through the permitting process that the plans go through our normal review process that we would normally do. So that includes review by PRS, review by the DRB, review by staff, all the usual. So the replacement plan will come through PRS as a full review. But the clause in there essentially was just repeating what is in the code, that if there's any substantial changes to the development plan as proposed, or the replacement plan, sorry, it would have to come back to mayor and council. So that's what that clause was referencing. The wording is, it is always a little strange in the resolutions.
It was worrying, but I appreciate that you and Corin got back to us so quickly. But that's very weird because I had never, but the proponents didn't go away thinking they didn't have to do anything, right?
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
Can someone summarize what you guys are talking about?
Well, it was sent in an email. Did you send us that resolution, or did Corin, or did you, Andrew, share that? Somebody.
I think I sent the initial text of it. Let me see. I can.
Are we just concerned about how our recommendation was presented at the mayor and council meeting?
Well, yeah, wait till you see it, because it calls us out. Calls out plans review.
Okay.
So I'll just read it off the section that is just weird. It says, whereas the TPCHC recommends approval of the conceptual replacement plan subject to review and approval of a replacement plan if substantial changes are made to the approved plan by mayor and council following review by the Tucson Pima County Historic Preservation Commission Plans Review Subcommittee and PDSD as required by UDC. I think it just repeats itself a lot, and
Yeah, that's really
yeah,
a convoluted statement.
Well, and preservation,
yeah.
I mean, can't they even get the name of the commission and PRS correct? You know, I mean, really? Okay, sorry.
I think we
It's
wanted to make sure that PRS was in there so that if a change comes, that you are included, that it's clear that PRS is included.
Yeah.
Right, but it says Preservation Commission. We're not, we're not a Preservation Commission.
Or
Right?
historical. No, I think maybe
Yeah.
I just read it wrong.
Okay,
Oh no,
okay.
it does say Tucson Pima County Historic Preservation Commission. Yeah.
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 So next time, get that right, folks. Maybe you're
But
thinking Phoenix. You're channeling Phoenix, Desiree. Yeah.
I think just the reason it reads so strangely is it's like the whereas formatting of it, where like the whole resolution is kind of written as like one run-on sentence. So it's like
Yeah,
very
it's
hard to
even longer than that.
distinguish. Like
Yeah.
when one thought stops and another starts. So I don't know why they're written that way, but they're always written that way. So
Well, you might get a question at, an upcoming historical commission meeting about the way that was worded. And, I hope we don't get letters from certain people that we get wanting me to write a letter to the city manager's office about it. So it's just, I think words mean a lot. And I don't know why, I thought we gave a very clear recommendation on that. And, what was there nervousness? I mean, was there a lot of discussion of this, or was it pretty clean at the meeting?
Yeah, so I can give a brief recap. So the staff prepared the mayor and council memo. I prepared the memo. I didn't write the resolution, but I should have caught that. So that was prepared along with all the materials that the applicant submitted. And at the meeting itself, mayor and council heard public comment on the item. All of the public comment was in favor of the expansion and associated demolition. They all had comments on it. Mayor Romero did express, that it was a very difficult decision, and that she doesn't take demolitions of historic buildings lightly, but ultimately felt that this particular project was warranted, and it's about cultural preservation and people and the active use of that area.
Yeah.
And so it was voted unanimously in favor of the demolition and the expansion.
Yeah.
And they actually did not ask for a presentation. So the applicant didn't have to give a presentation, and they didn't have any questions for staff. It was pretty.
And they probably had all those things. And, we really weighed that carefully too. I mean, we all worked really hard on that, and you guys did too. So so anyway, I just wanted to bring that up, that it was.
So Terry, this is Joel. I have a question. So it did go, the vote went through the city council, okay?
Yeah, they voted unanimously.
I talked to two individual council members independently as a human being, not as a PRS person. And both of them supported it with their whole heart. So there's not a worry. It's okay.
No, it seems fine. I'm just commenting that resolution was very bizarre. And you're a lawyer, so you could read it and you might even think it's weird.
I couldn't follow it as Andrew read it. You're right. It's hard language.
So, but it is what it is, and it all turned out okay. Thanks. So does anyone want to bring up any other review process issues?
Well, I just had one comment, since you guys are talking about sort of follow-up based on the process that happens after we submit a recommendation. I mean, there was a long time there, Terry, that used to forward the director decision letters to us. Somehow we always got copied on them, and I always found it interesting and kind of insightful to read where some cases ended up in the end. I don't know if that makes sense to still do that. It could just clutter up our inboxes, but I don't know. For some of them, I think it would be interesting for us to see where a case falls at the very end.
Yeah, could you start sending those to me again? I didn't even notice that they hadn't been coming in. That's weird. And I would always forward them to you guys right away for your files. Any issue with that, Desiree?
I don't. They are available on Pro, on our
Yeah.
website, but
I can't get on Pro. I'm not going to
we
try to get
can
on.
we can try to remember to do that. Yeah, just it's adding a little bit more steps, but we'll try to do that.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many cases now. I feel like we do review so many more that honestly, I'd probably regret having so many in my inbox. But I don't know. Sometimes it was just really like, I don't know. It was interesting to read and see where things landed. So maybe on the ones that you're talking about, where West University had a different opinion than us, it would be nice to know. Or
Yeah.
Well, I think it's helpful to really have them all. So I mean, don't you guys process the letter and then put it on Pro? Yeah, you
Yeah,
could
we
just
upload it.
shoot me an email and I'll distribute to everyone via blind CC, so I mean, that would be really helpful because most people aren't going to be able to get on Pro, right? I mean, it's like, do I have to set up an account to get
No,
onto it?
it's very simple, but we can do that. We can add it, like try to send emails out after. We'll just have
Yeah, and
Jason and Michael, you'll have to do that.
I think it used to always come to me for years and years. I would get those,
Okay.
just to me, and then I can send them out so that you don't have to have that extra step. So, then it's helpful because I do save them. I do put them with that meeting.
Okay.
So, all right, thank you. Decision letters, anything else? Okay, then item 6 is future agenda items. Now, Desiree kindly emailed me a proposed schedule for November and December. And I don't know if you saw my email. I emailed you back right before the meeting because I was thinking about it last night, but I hadn't thought about what my comments would be. So for the 11/13 regular PRS meeting, we would do the National Register nominations and the HSRC items. Now there's 2 National Register nominations, correct?
There are 3 National Register nominations and then 2 reclassifications. So there would be 5 items related to the HSRC.
Yeah, so do we have, Jason, didn't you send us one already of the National Register nominations?
Yes, I sent, I think 2 weeks ago on Windsor Park. So there's 2 other nominations that have not been emailed yet.
Yeah, and how soon are you doing preliminaries on those, or what are you doing?
I just got the other nominations handed to me this morning, so I can send the other nominations to you after this meeting.
Oh, that's great, so that we have as much time as possible. So I had suggested that process improvements were suggested for the 12/11 meeting. So it'd be project reviews plus process improvements. I suggested to Desiree that she could put them, maybe we could start them on 11/13, but maybe it's not a good idea if we have 3 National Register nominations and 2 reclassifications. So what do you all think? I mean, let me just tell you what she said. So 11/13 would be the National Register stuff and the HSRC items. 11/20 would be a special PRS meeting for project reviews, including All Saints and a couple from Armory Park and West University. And then 12/11 would be a regular PRS meeting with project reviews and process improvements. There would be no meeting on Christmas. Yay.
Yeah, and the meeting on 11/20 would be because our normal meeting would fall on Thanksgiving. So we have enough that we do need to meet in November.
I have studio reviews on the 20th. I can't.
Okay.
You can't do the 20th?
Mm-mm.
Is there,
And then,
we can do a different date. Doesn't have to be that date.
I could do, yeah, Wednesday or Friday. It's just that Thursday. It's
I
even
could-
actually any other day that week at the same time would be fine.
yeah, and I'm in the UK because I'm lecturing on that very day in this 2-day symposium. So I'm afraid that it would just be too much, for me to try to participate in this symposium and discussion and then, So, and if Savannah can't either, let's look at the calendar. So what other days work for people that week? Let me grab my calendar if you don't mind.
I think I have a potential recusal coming up too. I'm not sure when it's scheduled for. I'm not directly involved in it, but my firm is. It's for the Crave Coffee on 4th Ave.
I'm sorry, Andrew, what'd you say?
So I have a case I'll have to recuse from at some point, but I'm not sure when it's scheduled. But it's a 4th Ave project. One sec. I'm gonna see if I can pull it up and see.
It's probably an
Oh.
IIT project.
Yes.
So is everyone can make the 13th? Because I deliberately didn't leave earlier for the UK. So I'm leaving,
Yeah.
because I want to make PRS so we have full commission the 12th, 13 would be PRS. Then the special meeting would be the 20th. So Desiree, what do you think about the 17, 18, 19?
That would work for me. I think Wednesday, the 19th, I have a conflict, but like that Tuesday afternoon's open for me.
What does everyone think about that Tuesday afternoon? Because it will be late for me, but I can still do it over in the UK. Let me look at whatever that calendar is. What am I doing?
That's Tuesday the 18th.
18th.
Right,
Yeah, that works for me.
that's fine with me. Yeah.
Thank you guys.
Okay, because I'd rather, yeah, so that's, and then, but
That's 1
can
o'clock
everybody,
Mountain Standard Time.
I'm sorry?
1 o'clock Mountain Standard Time.
Yeah, the usual, just Tucson time, 1 p.m. Doesn't matter where I am. I just find out what time it is and I'm there. So the 18th at 1, and then if everyone can be there, then Andrew, we just need to know if your case is on that agenda on 4th Ave. Did you say it was, Desiree, or no?
I don't think, not at this point.
No, I don't think we have it yet.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, I can ask the people in my office to give me a heads up. So
That would be good. Okay, and then on 12/11, we'd have project reviews, and we don't know how many cases you'll have, Desiree. It could be 2, 3, 4, right? We just don't know.
Yeah.
So see what you guys think of this. Instead of having the whole presentation on process improvements would be the checklist, Desiree suggested having a 2-person task force because that's under a quorum. You guys could just meet. I mean, just individually, right? I mean, I don't think we need to approve a task force. Do you, Desiree? No, because we're going to discuss it. And to meet with staff to discuss the checklist. Then we can give an update during a full PRS meeting. And then the 2 people that are on it, and we'd still discuss it during a regular PRS meeting, but if we all have copies of the checklist, but 2 people are working more with you on others, we can just come back together and say, whoever those 2 people are, what did you think? Are you good with it? Did you have suggestions or whatever, does that work? I mean,
I think that's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I had just made some notes to myself weeks ago whenever it was originally sent out. So even just over email, I could just send refresh, double check, and send those on, and then we could just do it over email too. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, that's basically what we've been doing with some of the other things on the working group. I think that's a good use of people's time. There's too many meetings and
Mhm.
subcommittees.
And then we could get a report back from the two people that, I mean, and you sent us those already, so any of us could really comment, right? Like Joel and I, Andrew, Savannah. Yes?
Yeah, and then we could just summarize it. Like you could send me your comments, I could summarize it during a future meeting. But yeah, it's difficult finding a nice chunk of time during these meetings because we have so many reviews and other things to look at.
Yeah, no, but I mean, and do you recall when you looked at them, Savannah, are they just minor things or are they covering pretty much or?
Yeah, minor. And it was just on the checklist and some of the wording. The trying to think what the other item was. It was like how the projects are presented. What is it, like a summary template? That'll look fantastic to me. I was excited about that to get started.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was just a few items on the checklist from what I remember, but I'll go back and double check.
So
Yeah,
let's
that's
do
really
that. Yeah.
I was gonna say that's really what like, we could use your input in those, I think, the checklists.
Yeah.
Do you think we need to push that for a discussion on December 11th? Or would you want to try to do it on the 17th? I mean, when do you want to implement these? Like by the beginning of the year or just as soon as they're ready?
I think the beginning of the year would be good, just as we're kind of closing the loop on things, and I think that would be a good time because it will take a little, extra time on staff's part to do that extra research and like analysis, but I think it will be a good thing. So I'm hoping by January, yeah, we'll like have some of the backlog and like things like that, other little things, we're trying to smooth out in our processes. So yeah, January.
So you don't want to put them on till the 11th?
I think that's fine. Yeah, I think the 11th is fine because we're working on other things too. And actually, they're like that's really just the staff kind of report for the meetings. I at some point also want to provide you with a draft checklist for like the application instructions, right? So that I haven't gotten to yet. So by December, maybe we'll also have that.
Okay, so right now we have whatever file we're supposed to be reviewing and getting comments back to you on.
Right.
And you may give us something else.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. All right, so does that work for everybody? And yeah, and then we're off the 2nd, so we're off the 25th, and then our next meeting would be January 8th, right? 2nd and 4th. Okay. All right, anything you want to tell us then about the agenda? Otherwise,
I think that's it. It's just those 5 National Register items. So we'll send you all of the documents and you can have few weeks to look at them.
yeah, and basically, if you want to get into the weeds and give them feedback, if, basically have they made their case, be a devil's advocate for when it goes in front of HSRC. Like, is it a tight nomination? Is anything missed? And be sure to include, like, there should be a map, there should be maps. Like, isn't one a big district one?
Yeah, there's a townhouse and there's a Windsor Park district.
Yeah, and so be sure we see that map and so forth. If that's doable. Okay. Alrighty, well, thanks so much. And okay, discuss November, December. Okay. So anything else, or should we go ahead and adjourn at 3:21? Not too bad. And Desiree, I'll be watching for a draft and try to get that done for you as soon as possible. Are they happier with, I think this format's nice. So anyway, we're adjourned at 3:21. Thanks,
All right.
everyone.
Thank you all.
Take care.
Take care.
Uh-huh.
Bye.
Thanks, bye.
Bye. Bye.